Words have incredible power. They can encourage, inspire, and uplift. They can move people to tears, ignite passion, and even shift the course of history. But here's the thing, words alone are never enough. It's easy to say, I love you, but if your actions don't align with those words, they don't carry much weight. It's easy to say, I'm going to change, but if you keep doing the same thing, then the words are just noise. We live in a world full of talkers. People talk about their dreams, their goals, their plans. They talk about the kind of life they want, the kind of person they want to become, the changes they want to make. But the problem is, talking about something doesn't make it real. You can say all the right things, but it's what you do that tells the real story. Think about the relationships in your life. Have you ever had someone say one thing but do another? Maybe they promised they would be there for you, but when you needed them, they disappeared. Maybe they swore they had changed, but their actions showed otherwise. It's frustrating, isn't it? Because deep down, we know that words without action mean nothing. The same is true for our personal growth. You can tell yourself, I'm going to be more disciplined. I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to start that business. I'm going to work on my relationships. But if you wake up every day and live the same way you always have, then all those words are just empty promises. If you really want to change, you have to move beyond words and step into action. That's where transformation happens. Let's take a look at how this plays out in real life. Imagine a man who keeps saying he wants to get in shape. He talks about it all the time. He tells his friends, this is my year. I'm going to start working out. I'm going to eat better. He even goes as far as buying workout clothes and signing up for a gym membership. But then, every day, he hits the snooze button instead of getting up to exercise. He keeps eating the same unhealthy foods. He keeps making excuses. Weeks go by, then months, then years, and nothing changes. Now, let's look at another man who never makes a big announcement about wanting to get in shape. He doesn't talk about it much at all, but one day he decides to wake up 30 minutes earlier to go for a run. He starts making small adjustments to his diet. He stays consistent, no big speeches, no grand declarations, just quiet, steady action. And over time, that action leads to results. The difference between these two men is simple. One relied on words while the other relied on action. One talked about change, the other lived it. This principle applies to every area of life. Your words might get people's attention for a moment, but your actions will determine whether they believe you. You might say, I want a better marriage, but are you putting in the work? Are you making the effort to communicate, to listen, to love unconditionally? You might say, I want financial freedom, but are you being wise with your spending? Are you saving, investing, or just dreaming about wealth without doing anything differently? People believe what they see, not just what they hear. If you say you're committed to something, prove it. If you say you value something, show it. If you say you want something, go after it. Because at the end of the day, words can only take you so far. It's your actions that tell the real story. It's one thing to believe something. It's another thing entirely to act on it. You can have all the faith in the world, but if you never take a step forward, nothing will ever change. You can believe that things will get better, that you will grow, that you will succeed, but if your actions don't align with that belief, then your faith is just a thought, not a reality. Many people live their lives waiting for the right time, the right opportunity, the right feeling. They say, one day I'll start that business. One day I'll write that book. One day I'll change my habits. But one day never comes unless you take action today. Faith is not just about what you believe, it's about what you do with that belief. It's about taking a step even when you don't have all the answers. It's about moving forward even when you're uncertain. Faith isn't passive, it's active. Think about a person who wants to be successful. They read books about success, listen to motivational speakers, and dream about their future. But when it's time to take action, when it's time to invest in themselves, develop skills, or put in the hard work, they hesitate. They're afraid of failure. They're afraid of discomfort. They want everything to be perfect before they start. But faith doesn't wait for perfection. Faith steps out in the middle of the unknown. Imagine a farmer who has a bag full of seeds. He can believe all day long that those seeds have the potential to grow into a great harvest. He can stare at the seeds, pray over them, and talk about how much he wants them to grow. But until he actually plants them in the ground, waters them, and nurtures them, nothing is going to happen. The seed is useless if it stays in the bag. In the same way, many people have incredible potential inside of them. They have talents, ideas, and dreams. They have faith that their life can be better. But instead of planting those seeds through action, they hold on to them. They wait, they hesitate, they want guarantees before they move. But nothing grows without action. Some people say, I'll start when I feel ready. But feelings follow actions, not the other way around. You don't feel confident before you start. You feel confident because you start. You don't feel disciplined before you take action. You develop discipline through action. Think about a child learning to walk. If a baby waited until they were completely confident before they took their first step, they would never learn to walk at all. They don't think about how many times they might fall. They don't question whether they're ready. They just take a step. And when they fall, they get back up and try again. That's faith in action. It's the same principle when it comes to anything in life. You want to be healthy? You don't wait until you feel like exercising. You start moving. You want to build a successful career? You don't wait until you feel completely prepared. You start where you are. You want to grow spiritually? You don't wait until you understand everything. You take a step in faith. Faith without action is like a car without fuel. It might look good on the outside, but it's not going anywhere. Faith has to be paired with movement. It has to be expressed through the choices you make every single day. People often ask, what if I failed? But the real question is, what if you never try? Because failure is not the worst thing. Staying stuck is. Fear will try to keep you where you are. Doubt will try to convince you that you're not ready. But faith steps out even when it's uncomfortable. Faith says, I may not see the whole path, but I trust that each step will take me closer to where I need to be. The difference between the people who succeed and the people who stay stuck is not talent, luck, or intelligence. It's action. It's faith in motion. It's the willingness to step out even when things aren't perfect. It's easy to make a promise. It's easy to say, I'll be there, I'll do better, or I'm changing my life. But the real question is, can you keep showing up even when no one is watching? Can you stay committed when it's hard, when it's inconvenient, and when progress feels slow? People don't trust words, they trust patterns. Someone might tell you they've changed, but you don't believe them until you see it in their daily actions. A business can say they value their customers, but you don't believe it unless they consistently provide good service. You might tell yourself that you're committed to your goals, but your actions over time reveal the truth. Consistency is the foundation of trust. If someone is reliable, you don't have to wonder if they'll show up. You don't have to question their intentions because their pattern of behavior has proven them. On the other hand, if someone is inconsistent, if they say one thing but do another, if they make promises but rarely follow through, it becomes difficult to believe them. The same principle applies to our personal growth. Many people start strong but don't finish. They get excited about a new habit, a new plan, a new goal. They tell themselves, this time I'm really going to do it. And for a while they stay on track. But then life happens. Distractions come. Motivation fades, and slowly they fall back into old patterns. Motivation is great, but motivation doesn't last. What lasts is discipline. What lasts is the decision to keep going even when you don't feel like it. Because let's be honest, there will be days when you don't feel like it. There will be days when you don't feel like getting up early, exercising, eating healthy, working hard, or being patient. But consistency isn't about feelings, it's about commitment. Think about an athlete training for a competition. They don't get up every morning feeling excited to work out. They don't always feel strong, fast, or ready, but they train anyway. Not just once in a while, not just when they're in the mood, but every single day. That's why they succeed, because what you do consistently shapes who you become. If you want to be strong, you can't just go to the gym once a month. If you want to be financially stable, you can't just save money once in a while. If you want to grow spiritually, you can't just pray or read when it's convenient. Growth happens when you keep showing up, even when it's hard. Some people wonder why they're stuck. why things never change. The truth is, your daily habits are shaping your future. You don't become disciplined overnight. You don't build strong relationships in a day. You don't create success by doing something once. You build it little by little, step by step, choice by choice. If you're always starting and stopping, if you're always making promises but not following through, you won't see the results you want. The real difference between people who succeed and people who don't isn't talent, intelligence, or luck. It's consistency. Even small actions, when repeated consistently, lead to big results. Drinking more water every day can transform your health. Spending just 15 minutes a day learning a new skill can change your career. Taking time to appreciate your loved ones every day can transform your relationships. It's not about being perfect, it's about being faithful. It's about deciding that no matter what, you're going to keep going. That even on the hard days, the slow days, and the frustrating days, you're going to keep showing up. Because consistency is what builds trust, what shapes character, and what ultimately determines your success. For too often, people believe that success, change, or growth comes from one big dramatic moment. They think they need a massive breakthrough, a life-changing opportunity, or a grand event to make things happen. But the truth is, real transformation doesn't happen all at once. It happens through small daily actions. Every great achievement is built on a foundation of consistent small steps. Think about an oak tree. It doesn't grow overnight. It starts as a tiny seed buried in the dirt, unseen by the world. Every day it receives a little water, a little sunlight, a little nourishment. You don't see its growth immediately, but beneath the surface its roots are strengthening. Then one day a sprout breaks through the ground. And as time goes on, what was once an invisible seed becomes a towering, unshakable tree. Your life works the same way. The small choices you make every day, whether good or bad, are shaping your future. The way you spend your time, the habits you build, the mindset you develop, all of these things determine where you'll end up. Some people make the mistake of waiting for the big moment to start making changes. They say, I'll get serious when I have more time, or I'll start when I have more motivation. But life doesn't work that way. If you want to see big results, you have to start with small actions right now. Let's say you want to be healthier. You don't have to overhaul your entire lifestyle in one day. You don't have to go from eating junk food to a perfect diet overnight. You just need to start with one small action. Maybe that means drinking more water. Maybe that means taking a 10-minute walk each day. It might seem insignificant at first, but over time, those small actions add up. The same is true for success. No one becomes great in a single day. The best athletes, the most successful business owners, the most influential leaders, they all got where they are by taking small, consistent steps over time. They practiced their craft when no one was watching. They made daily sacrifices. They didn't rely on motivation, they relied on discipline. People often get discouraged because they don't see instant results. They start something new, but when they don't see progress right away, they give up. But real success is not about speed, it's about endurance. It's not about how fast you go, it's about whether you keep going. Imagine you have two people. One person reads for 15 minutes every day. The other doesn't read at all. In a week, it doesn't seem like there's much difference between them. But in a year, the first person has read several books, gained new knowledge, and grown as a person, while the other remains the same. Or take two people who handle their money differently. One saves a little bit each month, even if it's just a small amount. The other spends everything they earn. In a few months, the difference isn't huge. But in a few years, one has built financial stability, while the other is still struggling. The point is, every small action counts. The small things you do every day might not seem like they matter, but over time, they shape your life. Some people waste years waiting for a perfect opportunity, a perfect moment, or the perfect feeling before they take action. But the most successful people understand that the key isn't waiting, it's starting. Even if it's just one step, even if it's small, because one step leads to another and another, and before you know it, those small steps have taken you further than you ever imagined. Every single day, whether you realize it or not, you are making choices that shape your future. The decisions you make, the habits you build, and the way you spend your time, are all creating the life you will live tomorrow. Some people think their future is determined by luck, circumstances, or what others do for them. But the truth is, your future is being built by the actions you take today. Think about it. Where you are right now in life is the result of past decisions. The relationships you have, the job you work, your health, your mindset. These didn't happen overnight. They were shaped by the things you did or didn't do consistently over time. That means if you want something different in the future, you have to start making different choices now. Many people live in a constant state of someday. They say, someday I'll start my business. Someday I'll get serious about my health. Someday I'll work on my relationships. But someday is not a day on the calendar. It's just an excuse to delay action. And every day that you wait is a day that you could have been building the future you want. It's easy to blame circumstances. It's easy to say, I wasn't given the right opportunities, or I had a difficult past. And while those things may be true, they do not have to define your future. Plenty of people have come from difficult situations and still built great lives. The difference is they refuse to let their past control their actions. They took responsibility for their future and made choices that moved them forward. Your future isn't written yet. It's being written in real time by the choices you make. And the good news is you have the power to change the story. If you don't like where you are, you don't have to stay there. You don't have to accept a life that doesn't fulfill you, but you do have to take action. Some people want their future to change, but they keep doing the same things. They want to be financially stable, but they keep making poor spending decisions. They want to be healthier, but they keep eating the same way and avoiding exercise. They want better relationships, but they don't put in the effort to communicate, listen, or forgive. You can't get new results with old habits. Change doesn't happen by accident. It happens on purpose. It happens when you decide that your future is worth fighting for. It happens when you stop wishing and start doing. It happens when you make the hard choices today so you can have a better tomorrow. The thing about the future is, it's coming whether you prepare for it or not. 5 years from now, you will arrive somewhere. The question is, where will that be? Will you be stronger, wiser, and closer to your goals? Or will you still be stuck in the same place wishing things were different? What you do today matters. It matters more than you realize. The small choices you make, the habits you build, the way you spend your time, all of it is shaping the direction of your life. You don't have to wait for a big moment to change your future. The moment to start is now.